Let's just restart the story.
All right. So this is part 2 of the Drunken Peasants podcast. Obviously, we had to go offline.
Yeah, part 1 was fucked up.
Yeah.
By assholes. Total fucking unrepentant bags of cunt-filled shit.
Yes.
Or shit-filled cunt.
Ruining the enjoyment of
I like
everyone.
cunt-filled shit better. Anyway, we're now going to be talking about this reaction to the first openly gay NFL player kissing his boyfriend to celebrate being drafted to the St. Louis Rams.
Time now for The Ridiculous, and if you're not in the Dallas area, you are missing out on a spectacular morning show called The Broadcast, and an incredible moment last week when they veered away from springtime pizza recipes and how to slim down your fat pets to weigh in on this. Michael Sam kissing his boyfriend while ESPN cameras were rolling after Sam became the first openly gay player to be drafted by the NFL.
I am offended.
Now, to say that this bitterly divided the all-important demographic of Ladies of Dallas knockoffs of The View is an understatement.
Why are you allowed to kiss?
That's
why are they allowed to kiss?
Because when you make comments that say it offends you and you don't want to watch it, it kind of comes off as being racist towards homosexuals.
Racist towards homosexuals?
Yeah.
Homosexuals are not a race.
And actually, she's the one I agree with most, but yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, still. Race. There's not a homosexual race.
Yes.
But
it's not a race.
Just putting that out there.
This is the problem.
Hello.
You can't say what you feel without being persecuted if it
are-
doesn't go along with mainstream.
There's more. Now, if you happen to be playing predictable excuse-laden intolerance bingo.
How is being gay mainstream?
I don't know.
I
guess that when we just try to be homophobic, people get upset. It's like, okay, well, yeah. I mean, because we've kind of moved past that as a society to some extent. And not only that, but it's like, couldn't you just take that woman and send her back like 50 years and have her react to, like, you know, the first interracial kiss or something like that on TV? Like, oh my God.
Go at home, get ready to mark some boxes, folks.
And that's a moment of celebration for something very exciting that happened to him because he worked his butt off, and now we're beating him up because he kissed his boyfriend.
I don't call it a moment of celebration.
But we're not attacking.
I don't call it a moment of celebration. Who the fuck kisses their significant other to celebrate an important moment in their life?
Yeah.
That's nonsense. No one does that. That's my impression of her. I can't make my voice sound quite as bitchy, though.
You didn't feel like that was a moment of celebration?
No, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's being pushed in faces.
Literally.
Kissing his wife would have
They pushed it in each other's faces.
Here's the thing. My turn. Here's the thing.
My turn.
ESPN would not have aired any of it had he been kissing his wife. Can we agree that this was an opportunity?
They wouldn't have aired it if he kissed his wife.
I think we can agree that we're making a mountain out of a molehill.
I don't know about that.
Agree that this was an opportunity to make news.
I agree with that.
Period.
Amy Kushner, the one who is, air quote, level upset, got so flustered she ended up storming off the set, but not before she got in a couple more salient, totally not homophobic points.
He has every right to do what he wants. That is not my issue. I just don't want it in my face. When parents do not
don't want
have
it in
a
your
choice,
face. How is it in your face?
Yeah, it's on TV. Turn the fucking channel.
I know, right?
Bitch.
Like, you know, it's not in your face. I mean, there's plenty of stuff I see on TV that I think is stupid or I don't like. I just simply change the channel, or I fucking go on Netflix, or I fucking don't watch TV and go for a walk, or I fucking, you know, do any one of any number of fucking things.
There's plenty of alternatives.
Right, and I mean, like, who is she in the media to complain about something being pushed in her face?
She's just some, you know, small-time Dallas reporter. This is their version of The View, basically. And, yeah, her opinion
Let's see what this panel of obnoxious morons thinks.
As to whether or not they want their children to see this, it's wrong.
Now, Amy Kushner apparently has been taking some criticism online, but look, she has every right to express her opinion. She just wants us to think of the children, and she has a point. If we don't take action, TV could become a bacchanalian free-for-all, replete with half-naked men and indiscriminate kissing.
What if children see that?
Tickets are still available right now Well, if you're the fourth caller, you get to take home a calendar. Oh, yes, you do. Stay tuned.
Why is she shoving that in my face?
Yeah.
That fucking bitch.
Yeah. Right in your face.
No, it's different when she does it. That's moral. That's good old-fashioned morality.
Wholesome.
Wholesome.
It's okay. She was kissing strippers, and she didn't even really know them. It's not like two guys who actually, were in love or anything.
When did Anderson Cooper try to become fucking
country.
Jon Stewart, making like sarcastic remarks and shit?
Well, he's the first openly gay news anchor. So I think...
I don't believe it until I see him suck a dick or have his dick sucked by another man.
Send him an email, TJ.
Yeah. I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it, Anderson. I think you're lying, buddy.
Agree with
you need to prove that shit to me.
And that's certainly their prerogative, and it's going to take time. There was a recent HuffPo YouGov poll that found nearly half of those surveyed thought it was inappropriate for networks to show the Michael Sam kiss, and people are allowed to have their opinions. But to Amy Kushner's argument that nobody shows football players kissing their wives or their girlfriends, well, that's simply not true. And I don't think she's being exactly honest when she says she wouldn't want to see that either, or she yells, "Get a room," whenever she sees that. If you're uncomfortable seeing some kind of affection and not another, why not just say that and leave the disingenuous excuses about why you're uncomfortable where they belong on the ridiculous?
They belong in the fucking toilet, not the ridiculous.
The ridiculous.
It's a list that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man, I'm dark.
Yeah, I guess I should turn on the light. I'm going to go ahead and start this. Here's a story about how some people believe that the Led Zeppelin song Stairway to Heaven could have been stolen or plagiarized.
And she's stealing the stairway to heaven.
Led Zeppelin fans, brace yourselves. Let me play a tune for you, and I'm sure you're going to recognize it.
I'm not a Led Zeppelin fan, but whatever. I don't recognize this tune at all. What is this? Some kind of new music I've never heard before in my existence. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed.
So as most of you know, that's Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Of course, one of rock's greatest anthems. It's classic, timeless, quintessential. The adjectives go on and on.
Wouldn't you call Stairway to Heaven an anthem?
Stolen to the list?
No, I wouldn't put it as anthem in the anthem category. It is definitely classic.
Sure. But I mean, it doesn't really have that anthemic feel,
No. It's not an anthem-esque song.
No.
Definitely.
Okay.
Jimmy Page says he wrote it in a cottage in Wales back in 1970. But a lawyer representing the late Randy, California, whose band toured with Led Zeppelin in '69, says Page stole the opening riff.
Oh,
Listen to
fuck.
this.
And she's buying a stairway to heaven.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds similar. There's only so many notes, and there's only so many octaves that a guitar can play. And you don't want to get too high up there because it would just sound ridiculous, and that's more lead guitar.
I would say there's enough of a difference to, in my mind, kind of just be like, well, I mean, maybe.
It's kind of like, or I shouldn't say, it's nothing like when Vanilla Ice sampled Queen and said, look, we put a hi-hat at this point. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's different now. I mean, this is genuinely, like, it's been changed up enough that I don't think that I necessarily agree that this was stolen.
No. Maybe it was an influence. Obviously, the two bands knew each other, and this song came out before Stairway to Heaven.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that it's plagiarized, necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of songs out there that sound really fucking similar to one another.
Yeah, there's
they even
mashups. Have you ever heard of mashups? They take two songs in the same key and put them together.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they even did that those guys, there was that comedy band that did the 3-note songs where they sang a bunch of different songs to the same, basic 3 chords.
Yeah.
Just to show, that all these songs are operating under, similar musical principles.
Yes.
So I mean, I just don't buy this. I mean, if it was...
Even if they're different musical principles, they still use the same notes.
Right.
And there's only so many notes to go around. I mean, the variations are impossible to, it's impossible to write a purely original piece of music with all the music that's come out throughout the centuries. And
not only that, but it's like, this is just not, it's not the same. It's close. You could see the similarity, but it's not.
It's
like
70s rock music.
Right. I mean, like, it's the same genre from two pretty similar bands that have even toured together.
It just so happens that one is way more well-known than the other. I'd never heard of Spirit before. So
Spirit.
This is some sort of publicity stunt, and they're hoping they can make some money off of it, is basically what's happening here.
I'm surprised they didn't get around to it sooner.
That was the band Spirit. The song is Taurus. Sound familiar? Joining me now to talk about what could be a looming copyright lawsuit is CNN legal analyst Paul Callan and Mel Robbins. I know a lot of Zeppelin fans would be heartbroken if this turns out to be an infringement case here. I'm going to start with you, Paul.
I don't think anyone would really give a shit. Like Stairway to Heaven is still going to be Stairway to Heaven, and the feelings you had about it before are probably going to remain the feelings that you have after, regardless of the outcome of the fucking case.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to be like, I used to like this song, but then I found out they stole it.
Lawsuit. It's been decades since this song was released, but what about the statute of limitations here?
Well, that's a great question, and just to give you an indication as to how old this song is, this is what I looked like when the song was in circulation in the 1970s. Okay, the song came out. Yes, I'll tell you. I had hair at that time, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And
could have kept the mustache.
So how can we go back to the 1970s now and bring
Rock
this lawsuit?
The 70s stash again.
Normally, you have to bring such
a
suit within 3 years of becoming aware of the copyright infringement. There is, however, some case law and some courts that have said if the song is in current circulation, you can go back 3 years to the amount of time that it's being circulated, and that's the exception that they're using. They're saying it's still...
That's the key right there, because the song is still heavily circulated, so there's still a lot of money to be made.
Really, people are still playing Stairway to Heaven?
Oh, yeah.
I have never heard the radio play that ever.
I don't listen to the radio, but it's being played.
No, it is. It's still in heavy rotation.
Being circulated, so we have the right to get 3 years of damages, not damages all the way back to 1968 or 1970. So that's the theory they're using.
Really interesting. Mel, I want to go to you because Randy, California, who his relatives claim actually was the one to write this song, he's died. He didn't bring forth a copyright infringement case. So do you think it's fair that his relatives are suing now?
Absolutely, because his relatives have...
Typical lawyer talk right there. Absolutely.
Absolutely it's okay. So what if even he didn't fucking make this claim in his lifetime? Now that he's dead, his family can go ahead and make it till they're fucking blue in the face.
Property rights in the royalties that he would earn, and that's big money. And basically what's happening is all they have to prove is that Led Zeppelin, the band, had access to the song and that they copied elements of the song and made something substantially similar. And here's what's interesting, Pamela. It's not the test legally based on what an expert says. It's basically if an ordinary person thinks that these songs sound similar, and they certainly do. I'm getting post-traumatic stress flashbacks to junior high and The Last Dance every single weekend that they played. But that's all they have to prove, that an ordinary person believes that it's substantially similar and that they had access to it. And interestingly, Pamela, there have been 4 other charges brought against Led Zeppelin for 4 other songs that have settled, and they've given co-credit status to the writers in those cases. So I wouldn't be surprised.
So Led Zeppelin be stealing shit left and right.
Pam, the Business Week article that was written about this case, they actually went out on the street and played the Led Zeppelin song to a group of about 50 people, and rather they played the other song, that was infringed.
Get your facts right, old man.
And 18 of them immediately thought it was Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. So that's kind of a good proof that the average person would think that that is Stairway to Heaven.
Why does it Why does it just go on the basis of what an average person would think?
It doesn't. It goes on the basis of the law. So
no, I mean, but like they're saying that the legal basis is just like if an ordinary person could make the mistake, why should that be the standard? I mean, there's a lot of songs that have very similar fucking melodies that you could easily mistake for one another.
Yeah.
Like there was I can't remember who exactly did it, but there was like the opening riffs to the Fight song by Marilyn Manson. There's another song that has almost the exact same fucking riffs. That was a popular song on the radio.
Yes.
And every time I'd hear it, I'd be like, is this the Fight song? It's like, no, it's this other fucking song by like Saliva or some shit.
Yeah. Yep. I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
Yeah, and it's the same. And I could sit there and be like, you stole that from fucking Manson.
How many 3 to 4 chord songs, it can't be plagiarism. Music is finite.
Right.
So the way you make music original is through not just through the chords of the song, but the melody and other things that you work into it.
Right.
So,
and I mean, I'm pretty sure that once the lyrics start up, there's really no confusion at all. I mean,
no, I mean that's one thing you could definitely call plagiarism on.
Right.
So,
but this is I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't know what the legal standard is, but I think that if the legal standard is just if it sounds the same to Joe Blow, then it is. I think that's a stupid precedent.
No, and that's why that won't have any weight in a civil court like that. So now we're gonna move on. This is something TJ brought to my attention.
This is going to be fun. This is Family Guy Exposed, TV's most satanic and anti-Christian show. This is by a YouTuber by the name of The Vigilant Christian, I believe. 9 months ago, The Vigilant Christian abandoned his channel because he talked to God, and God told him that making YouTube videos is not his destiny at this time. But luckily...
I wish I could say that to my employer, like, I'm sorry, I talked to God, and doing this bullshit is not...
I had a discussion with God, and he said that I should tell you guys to go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a Family Guy Exposed, TV's most satanic and anti-Christian show. The Vigilant Christian presents... some piece of shit video.
They all seem to be a play on your name, too.
Of course they are. Waking up the church. Exposing the entertainment industry. The Vigilant Christian.
Thank you, Vigilant Christian.
For more videos, go to this URL.
Hey everyone, it's the Vigilant Christian Mario, and you're here for another edition of Illuminati Media Exposed. In today's video, I'm going to be exposing Family Guy. Now, this is one of the most satanic, blasphemous, God-hating things that I've ever exposed on this channel. And if you're familiar with my series, you do know that I've exposed a lot of satanic things that are found in the modern-day media.
For those
now,
of you
this one tops it all. So to my brothers and sisters in the faith,
he is zooming in on Chris's hand doing the this symbol because that is a satanic symbol in his mind.
Do need to warn you, this one will probably make your stomach turn. It is so God-hating and blasphemous against Christ and God. It's actually mind-blowing. But the reason that I feel called to expose this is for the lost. They need to recognize and understand that there is a huge system of conditioning that is set up against them to impose within them at a very subconscious level a hate for God. Okay, it is no surprise when we look at the statistics
so logical.
Of God believers in my generation, Generation X and under, that the charts have completely plummeted. That belief in God is pretty much non-existent in my generation. And I'm going to suggest to you that it is largely in part due to the satanic influence of this type of media. Okay, so in today's video, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about just how God-hating this is, and I'm going to just show you, and let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to point out here is the fact that it's a cartoon. Now, this is a very effective way to lure children in, especially.
Okay, Family Guy is not a cartoon intended for children. I'm not saying that kids won't watch, but I mean, like, kids will watch plenty of adult shows and shit, too. Like... when I was a kid, it didn't stop me from watching like Terminator and Terminator 2 and fucking all the Friday the 13th movies and whatever else. But I mean, just the fact this is a cartoon doesn't mean that it's geared towards kids. It's certainly not.
You have Family Guy, Simpsons, Ren and Stimpy, shows
Ren and Stimpy is a fucking 90s show.
like that are cartoons, and as a child you think, well, cartoons are created for me, but they're not, okay? So what happens...
But Family Guy is not marketing towards kids. So... whatever.
Is kids actually get lured in more easily to watching shows like this, okay? Because, most of the shows kids watch are cartoons. So these are cartoons too.
Most of the shows kids watch are not necessarily cartoons. I mean, if you watch the Disney Channel and the Cartoon Network, whatever. But I mean, like, there's a significant other portion of the shows are live action. So I don't necessarily agree that most of what kids watch is cartoons.
So it lures your kids in. But brothers and sisters and everyone out there, this is not for children, period. Okay?
Right, it's not.
And if
no
you're
one said
allowing
it was.
your children to watch this stuff, shame on you. This is pure satanic garbage that is going to manipulate their minds and their ideologies about God.
Well, let's just talk. Seth MacFarlane is an atheist. He's not a Satanist. He does not believe in God. I mean, he could be a Satanist secretly. But, I mean, if he was a Satanist, I think he would just come out and say, I'm a Satanist. I believe in Satan and I worship Satan. Or if he's a LaVeyan Satanist, then, he worships the concept of Satan. But he's an atheist. There's definitely some atheistic humor in Family Guy. But it's not satanic humor. But I guess that we'll get a chance to refute specific claims of satanic symbolism as the video progresses.
And the truth. And you shouldn't do that to them. So the first thing I want to pull up here is just the resemblance of Family Guy to The Simpsons. So what it is the illuminated ones, the power that be, the desire to corrupt society, they utilize, shock. Okay, so that's why Madonna back in the 70s...
Well, wait. So
Was he about to say Madonna in the 70s?
I think, I don't know.
Okay. Madonna was not old enough to be a star in the 70s.
But even aside from that, he just brought up, first of all, I want to point out how similar it is to The Simpsons. And then he went on a totally different point. So, what the fuck does the supposed similarity with The Simpsons have to do with anything that you're saying?
It was outrageous what she's doing, and nowadays it wouldn't be even close to being outrageous. So now we have Lady Gaga who's pushing that envelope. Okay, just like we had The Simpsons.
Lady Gaga is nowhere even near as edgy as Madonna, honestly.
Yeah, I would say that probably the more analogous person would be like Miley Cyrus.
The first woman I had ever seen full on naked was Madonna as a kid. She put out that book Sex.
Yeah, and she was making BDSM themed videos in the late 80s and shit. I mean, Lady Gaga is not even fucking close to that.
No, she wears a meat dress. That is nothing compared to that.
Back in the day, that was a crazy cartoon. People and Christians were like, that's satanic. We shouldn't be listening to that. It shouldn't even be allowed on television. Now it's completely socially acceptable. It's been one of the most popular shows on television. So now they need to come and push the envelope even further because it's never going to stop. This is only going to stop when we have the complete immoral
This guy's voice hurts my ears.
I think it's also his mic.
Complete moral collapse of society, and everyone is now just conditioned to be completely immoral, hateful, and evil. Okay, that's what they're trying to do, and that's what they're doing very successfully.
So Family Guy and The Simpsons and other animated shows are trying to make people immoral and evil.
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense.
It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
In our societies, okay? You can just look at the fact that 50 years ago, Elvis Presley was shaking his hips on television, and that was an outrage. And nowadays, you got...
That 50 years ago would be 1964, right?
Yeah.
That's not correct.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga parading on MTV and dressed in nothing more than police tape, and that's nothing.
That's more than what Madonna wore.
And not only that, that's about as revealing as a typical bikini. I mean, it's not exactly even if she was butt-ass naked, who even gives a shit? How is that corrupting anyone? If you're a Christian, you believe that God created the human fucking body. I mean... should we look up at the Sistine Chapel and be like, oh, well, that's all sinful because Adam's
It's the
naked.
Illuminati TJ.
Oh, okay.
No big deal. Okay, so how far does this go? At what point do we stand up and say enough is enough? Okay? Because they're not going to stop pushing the envelope. So that's why I'm here to wake people up, and hopefully you can recognize and protect your families from this evil influence that the powers that be, the media, is perpetuating on your kids and yourself as well.
Right.
So let's get right into it even more here. What I want to point out here is just the fact that this show revolves around coarse jokes. And in Ephesians 5, chapter 4, it says, "Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talks, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving." So us Christians have...
Okay.
Coarse joking.
Coarse joking. No coarse joking. Coarse joking offends the Lord. That almost seems like it must be taken out of context, because it sounds like it's actually applying to a specific event. I don't know if is that supposed to be applied to all of society, or is that supposed to be applied to one specific instance?
Who fucking knows?
Or cares?
We should have nothing to do with coarse jokes, okay?
Coarse
and
jokes.
Foolishness, and that's all the show is about. It's just pure foolishness.
So you think this kid has a butt plug up his ass as he's saying all this?
It sounds like he might, just based on the tone of his voice.
Yeah, it sounds like he's clenching very hard. You need to relax those butt muscles, kid.
Foolishness, it's about farts and just stupidity. It's the lowest level of humanity expressed in comedy. Okay, that's exactly what it is. We're living at the most low standards until society is nothing more than just a bunch of Homer Simpsons and Peters running around.
Okay, no. These shows are not designed to turn people into Peter Griffin or Homer Simpson. No, the show is not holding up those characters as like, be like this. Those characters are intentionally made stupid so that we can laugh at their folly. I mean, that's the whole point of showing those foolish characters who make bad decisions.
The original antagonist of The Simpsons was Bart Simpson, who was not foolish. He was kind of the lovable scamp type character. And, I mean, this is like...
Okay, that's what they want. They want a bunch of beer-drinking, brain-dead men who can't think for themselves, who all they do is watch television and are a drone. And they're being very successful. Just look at the men around you, and you're going to see that 80% of them are now conditioned to become that fool.
Fuck you.
Okay?
Fuck you. Fuck you, as I'm pouring a drink into my cup. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's the funny thing about it is that he acts like the thing being caricatured was created by the caricature itself. It's like, no, these shows make fun of people like this because the world was already full of people like that.
No, TJ. They made the world this way.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're right. I'm sorry.
Who sits there and has no, in my opinion, has nothing inside, nothing to live for, and is nothing but a shallow, empty shell.
Ben, you're a shallow, empty shell. How do you feel?
I knew that already.
Okay. Just make sure you know.
Yeah.
So, brothers and sisters, just separate yourself from this type of joking and this type of mindset. It's just low-level stuff. So what I want to pull up here is an article that actually shows that Family Guy was named the worst show for young audiences. So I'm not the only one saying this. There's a lot of...
I would say the 700 Club.
Other parental groups out there who recognize this, but obviously no one cares. Everyone looks at us, oh, you're just a bunch of crazy people taking things too seriously. No, we're the ones who are standing up because we recognize that if this continues, we will see the complete moral collapse of society, and people will be stealing and killing, and there will be no structure or order left in society. It's going to be pure anarchy. So we
Okay, this is... The social order is going to collapse. Everything's going to be anarchy. Everyone's going to be retarded. And where will the blame lie? It will lie with Family Guy, a 22-minute long comedy show that basically makes a bunch of like dick and fart jokes for 20 minutes at a time.
Family Guy came out when I was a senior in high school in 1999. It actually got canceled.
Twice.
The thing that brought it back was the amount of people that bought the seasons on DVD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so this isn't a conspiracy. This is popular demand here.
Right. Not only that, like, how the fuck is this show or any show going to lead to the moral and intellectual collapse of America, if indeed that hasn't already happened.
Recognize that that's not a good thing, and that we should stand up for what is right so that we can maintain the structures that are in place as of right now. Okay, so there you go. No surprise, it's named one of the worst shows for kids. And if you're letting your children watch this, shame on you. Stop that. Okay, you should have more discernment to know that this stuff is not right. This type of comedy is evil and satanic. Now,
this type of comedy is evil and satanic.
I've missed the satanic part of it.
I haven't. Yeah, so far I've yet to see the line drawn between the show and allegiance to Satan. But I'm guessing he'll get to that in a minute.
I'm going to focus in to show you just how much they blaspheme God. Okay. So here you have on your screen an image of God sitting on his cloud. So they use the stereotypical satanic Hollywood image of God, which is the man in the beard with the sitting on the clouds.
So,
you know, it's,
hold on. So was Michelangelo a Satanist?
I mean, he'd have to say that because that's where we get that image of God, is from those classic paintings,
Renaissance paintings.
Right.
Is it satanic because he's white too? I mean, like,
it says in the Bible that God made us in his image. So I mean, you'd have to give him a humanoid form, and generally the robe and the long beard was considered like the appearance of the wise man.
Yeah, like Socrates or something.
Right, you know, like you could, I mean, like if you change the clothes there, you could say that is Socrates. Right? I mean, you could even fucking give him a costume change and say it's fucking Darwin, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't understand. Well, whatever.
They try, what they do is, because they're so satanic, and they're after your belief system and the conditioning of it, especially in regards to God, since they're God haters, they make him look as much as a fairy tale as they possibly can. Oh, he's just some old man sitting in the cloud, okay? And you constantly see this. The Simpsons do it. You know, all bunch of shows do it. And this is, again, to just manipulate and brainwash you so that you don't believe.
Okay, well, in popular English language, we refer to the sky as the heavens, and the clouds are in the heavens. That didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right. I mean, like, this is all part of, like, established cultural fucking precepts of what God is and what heaven is and what that all entails.
There were people that, before we could shoot people in rockets into space, they thought heaven was up in the sky.
Right. So this is just, this image does not come from some conscious place of like, how can we mock God? This is just the established idea of God, that this is like a popular notion of God that floats around out there.
Believe in God. Now I'm just going to run some things through some things that the character does in the show, and like I said, brothers and sisters, I do apologize, but I just want to show you the level of blasphemy of what we're seeing here in the media today. So in the Bible, God created the universe with his breath. Okay, now in this episode, he actually created the universe by his bodily gases. Okay, this is disgusting.
That is so inappropriate.
Yeah.
Can you believe they would do that?
His ass.
It didn't say that it was from the breath from his mouth, did it? It was ass breath.
It's disrespectful, all right? It's completely backwards and evil and satanic, and it does not surprise me because it comes from satanic.
He keeps saying things are satanic, but he will not explain why they're satanic.
Is it just because it's joking about God that officially makes it satanic?
I think that is the standard.
The Old Testament does not mention Satan at all.
Evil people. Okay, he even goes on in an episode, that same episode, to arm wrestle the guy, you know, showing that God.
He doesn't. They actually arm wrestled the guy first, so just gonna put that out there.
Isn't some supreme Lord God, pure light? He's just another guy with a beard, an old man who wants to arm wrestle. You know, he's got a sniper rifle and he shoots people. You know, he even has a job as a receptionist in one episode. And even more blasphemy is he uses his powers in some episodes to pick up young women. Okay, so this is disgusting.
Hold on. You mean like a certain 14-year-old Palestinian girl that he knocked up?
No. We're going to ignore that. That was an immaculate conception.
It was immaculate. I wish we had, the Mother Mary here to be like, was that truly immaculate for you?
And she'd be like, no.
No, he didn't give at all. He was just a taker.
Oh, he was all up in my business.
Or he was a 2-pump chump or something like that.
I would hope that God would create himself with more stamina.
No, he was just kind of like, well, I'm just here to impregnate.
Oh, yeah, that was good. All right. See you later, 14-year-old bitch. Oh, by the way, you're pregnant with my son.
Yeah. Who is also me.
Even show this. Our God is nothing like this. They even show him in a hovercraft spaceship flying around, looking all cool.
That looks awesome.
Sitting there on the phone with his girlfriend.
I would worship that God.
I know, right? I'd be more likely to worship that God.
On a jet ski that flies through the air, that is fucking awesome. God, where are you? Please come here on your flying jet ski so I can worship you.
That would be awesome. If God came here in a flying jet ski, I'd be like, home.
You're hearing this directly from the amazing atheist right now, God. Please come here on your flying jet ski.
Impress us. It's almost like this is a comedy show that's trying to satirize things, you know? It's so weird that they would blaspheme like this.
In bed, insinuating that, he's had sexual relationships with her, and just disgusting, sick things. One of the most...
Why is it disgusting and sick for God to have sex?
The Mormons believe that God literally had sex.
I know. And I mean, like, there's certain branches of Christianity that do. And, like, why would it be sinful for God to do that? Like, God doesn't even, his standards don't even apply to us.
Well, when God commits global genocide.
Yeah, that's just sinful. Like, well, it's justified because he's God. I mean, well, so why couldn't he fuck? If God wanted to rape every woman and man on earth, that would be perfectly acceptable because he's fucking God.
Ooh, God, fuck yeah, bring it.
God, come on your jet ski and then come in my ass.
Yeah.
Disgusting things that I discovered was an episode where he shows Adam and Eve, and God behind the tree has pornography. Okay, now because the main audience of Family Guy are immoral people don't have a problem with pornography. In fact,
yeah, that's true.
Maybe God needs it to get him started. Well, by the way, if you believe that everything that happens because God predetermined it to happen, then God predetermined pornogaphy.
Not only that, but like, I love how he just says immoral people have no problem with pornography. Like, there's
no.
So what if someone is like a murderer, like a mass murderer that just kills at a whim, but he thinks pornography is immoral? Would that just be a good person because he recognizes that pornography is wrong?
They enjoy it. It's one of their pleasures in life. So what they're trying to subconsciously program you in this image is that the knowledge of good and evil is something pleasurable that God has hidden from us. Okay? Why would they do that?
That's like the whole point of well, I mean, like, you have to realize that we're listening to someone who probably has a very literalistic interpretation of the story and doesn't recognize the sexual allegory that's already at play there.
If you take the Bible literally, it was the knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, but he's saying that, they try to make it glamorous.
It is glamorous.
Yeah, that was the whole reason that Eve was seduced to eating the fruit in the first place, is because it was glamorous. And it was a metaphor for sexuality to begin with. So all this is making the story a bit more explicit.
And by the way, so Adam and Eve, they had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. How did they reproduce after that?
I don't know, but after...
They all fucked their mother?
After Cain kills Abel, he escapes to a town. And I always like, where the fuck did this town come from? What the fuck is going on? This doesn't even make sense. If you fucking gave that to a Hollywood screenwriter, they'd cross it out and be like, hey, there's some logical inconsistencies here.
Because they're satanic, and because they want to influence you to be a God hater at the very subconscious levels. They even go and commercialize them, and you can actually buy dolls of God, and there's even one where he's drinking a beer. So it's just pure blasphemy. Now, again, going even more. So I want you to pay attention here. The picture I brought up on the left of Brian's head, you see the Illuminati eye in the pyramid. And right to the other side of his head is the God delusion. Okay, now why is that? Because the illuminated ones, the symbol that represents, the Illuminati are satanic. They go to Bohemian Grove to practice Babylonian satanic blood.
TJ, remember when you and me last year were at the Bohemian Grove and I was like, damn, TJ, I hope people don't figure out that we were here.
I know, right?
We were hanging out with Bill Clinton and, George Bush and Bill Richardson and all those satanic motherfuckers.
My favorite part was when we sacrificed those children to the devil.
Yeah, we burned them.
Moloch, yeah.
Not the devil.
Well,
Moloch.
we gotta simplify things for people.
I know. Okay.
But I wonder, so they're saying, the God Delusion by Richard Dawkins would be just as critical of Moloch or any of the fucking, the secret bohemian gods that the elite Illuminati illuminated ones worship. The God Delusion is an atheist book. Atheism and Satanism are not the same thing. Atheists don't even believe in the fucking devil.
Sacrifice and rituals. All right. So of course their intent and their goal is to manipulate you so that you do not believe in God. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's why it's there. Just put 2 and 2 together. They even push it further. In other episodes, she says we have to destroy everything that's harmful to God. And the first book that they throw in is Logic for First Graders. Ha ha ha! Stupid Christians can't even think. Oh, a first grader can think more than them.
Well, you're kind of demonstrating that by combing through a fucking cartoon to find hidden satanic imagery that's
Illuminati
aimed at destroying the entire society.
You are Gorilla 199. I mean, for all the crazy shit Gorilla 199 says, you are on par with him.
Yes. So, you can't really... This is I love these Christians that say and do incredibly stupid, illogical things, and then when you point out they're being stupid and illogical, they're like, why are you persecuting us? It's we're not. We're just pointing out that you're fucking being stupid and irrational.
This is an attack against the intelligence behind the gospel. And let me tell you, there is more intelligence behind the gospel than there is anything else. Everything else is foolishness.
Everything else is foolishness. So basically, all of God's creation is foolishness, is what he's saying.
Okay, you think you come from monkeys and all this stuff? This is because the systems that be are manipulating.
You think that we came from monkeys.
Your mind, and shows like this even further ingrain that in you. Okay, so come on, people. Now, they move on to attack our Savior, okay, the one who came and gave himself on the cross. Of course, he's not indwelled by the Holy Spirit of God and able to do miracles and wonders. Because of that, he's just nothing more than a magician.
There actually were other Family Guy episodes where Jesus does have all of his powers, but he becomes kind of shallow and consumed by them. So.
Okay, and you see that in the episode. He's just doing some magic tricks. And if you're familiar with Illuminati symbolism, you're going to recognize here that that scene he was shown flashing the 666 symbol. Okay.
Oh, the 666 symbol.
The 666 symbol.
Right.
You got us figured out. Oh my God, we must tell our evil master.
What is that the 666 symbol?
I guess so.
I don't see the 666.
I see four total fingers.
Yeah. Well, 8 total, but yeah.
8 total, but 4 being raised up.
Yes.
So just blaspheming God, and again, here's another picture of him in the clouds, quote unquote heaven. Again, making heaven like some fairy tale out there.
Yeah, because I demand more realistic depictions of heaven. Making heaven like some fairy tale just because it is.
An actual real place, just some fantasy, so that you don't really you can't really believe in it. They show you this image. He's not the only God in heaven. Do you see how satanic this is? Because the God.
It's satanic because other gods are acknowledged. So
but no Satan.
I don't see Satan up there with Jesus. I mean, even if it was, it would still just be a fucking joke. It's a joke. You're taking jokes as if they're some serious indictment of the fucking society, and that they're shaping our morals and our precepts, and that human beings are just going to be enslaved by this. I used to be a good person, then I watched Family Guy, and now I'm fucking raping babies in the night.
The gospel says that Jesus Christ is the one and only true God. Okay, him and the Father and the Holy Spirit.
It sounds like basically because the show doesn't show any clear deference to his religion, it's satanic. because anything that doesn't put Christianity up on some pedestal and say, look, it's the way and the truth and the light, anything that has any sort of message other than that must therefore be satanic.
Now, what they're trying to impose in this picture is to show you, oh no, you know, Krishna's there and all other gods are up in heaven. Well, this isn't true, brothers and sisters, and everyone else listening, okay? This is just an absolute satanic lie. And it has nothing to do with the truth.
I've yet to see one.
Then, you know, they have episodes of him
Satanism.
where he's behind the desk over here. He's working at a rock star company. And if you notice, all the satanic symbolism that's...
A rock star company? It's called a fucking record store.
Yeah.
Okay? Jesus, you are sheltered.
Found rock and roll's the devil's music, okay? So, obviously, he's, you know, being blasphemed in this way. He ends up in jail in another episode, shooting guns and ending up on some big adventure and action.
Shooting guns? What's more American than that?
Story and just blasphemy to no avail.
Blasphemy.
Now here's another point that I made. You know, they show you heaven, it's in the clouds, so of course they got to show you the lake of fire and the concept of judgment in a way that again is just a fairy tale. Oh, look at the devil, he's sitting there with his two little horns and his little cape and the fiery dungeon of hell. So this again is mind manipulation, brother.
This is, I mean, they're just making fun of your religion. Just because they're making fun of your religion doesn't mean that they're trying to destroy society or damn everyone to hell. They just find your religion to be ridiculous. You know why? Because it fucking is ridiculous. All of the imagery that you're criticizing comes from the Christian traditions that have fucking existed in this country for so long. They tell us that hell is a lake of fire. They tell us that God is up in the fucking clouds. They tell us that God is a bearded and robed figure.
Brothers and sisters. Okay, and of course, the Christian character in the Bible is Peter's father, who's stubborn, closed-minded, just smacks people over the head with their Bible.
Yes. The Christians are portrayed as closed-minded, not open-minded like you, the person who's combing over a cartoon for Illuminati and satanic symbolism. If only we could all be so open-minded.
So again, another attack against the body of Christ and what we stand for. So, everyone, just to recap, this stuff is satanic, evil, and it's just designed to manipulate your minds. The powers that be are illuminated dark men who are at all costs trying to manipulate and condition you so that you hate God. Don't let it happen. Don't be that foolish.
Don't be that
it's an
foolish.
obvious system. Go back and check out my entire Illuminati media series. You're going to see this isn't just Family Guy. This is everywhere.
This is
in all
everywhere.
the movies, okay? Even a movie, go watch my Jim Carrey thing, has subconscious Gnostic theology ingrained into it. Okay, so this is a deep system of propaganda set up against you. So if you're going to come here and just watch this one video and go, oh, this is just nonsense, it's nonsense to do that. You need to go back and watch all 8 other hours of my material and wait for me to finish producing the other 150 hours that I could produce simply on this satanic media that is conditioning you. So this is the Vigilant Christian saying, God bless each and every one of you. Stay vigilant and do not let this...
So, that was retarded. I don't know, maybe we could do more of looking at some other stuff on this guy's channel, see some more of the satanic imagery in various other TV shows. I didn't see the satanic imagery in Family Guy. I saw some things that were, you know, lightly mocking Christianity, that were putting out some intentional absurdities and hyperboles in order to elicit a humorous response. But if you have no sense of humor about your religion at all, then I guess that you have no recourse but to view it as a satanic attack on Christian values and morals, which it's not, because that's fucking retarded.